I don't normally make videos of this type, but when I saw Trevor Noahs' response to the French ambassador over this video...
Yes! Yes, I'm so excited! Africa won the World Cup! Africa won the World Cup! Africa won the World Cup! Africa won the World Cup!
I couldn't help but respond in kind. If you haven't seen it already, there's a link in the description, and for those of you who can't be bothered, or are worried they might vomit at Noah's antics, here's a quick rundown. Trevor, after making his racist joke, gets a letter from the French ambassador telling him that the players are French, and that his joke helps justify the approach of racists in France who tell black French men and women to get back to Africa. Trevor then breaks down, in his mind, the nuance of the situation, by asserting that him highlighting the Africanness of the heritage of some of the players is a celebration of that part of their identity, without taking away their Frenchness. He then makes a terrible joke about the migrant who rescued a French baby who was dangling off a balcony, being offered citizenship, claiming that if the attempt had failed, the news would have read, "African drops baby." To Trevor I say, rubbish. Your approach emphasises the division between people on the basis of their ancestry. I cannot think of a more racist way to divide society than based on ancestry. These people are French. France is a nation of multifaceted individuals that make up a collective culture. Being French is about the norms and practices of France. It is about the cultural heritage of the nation they grew up in. The man who saved a child was offered citizenship because he exemplified these traits. These traits are what France is looking for in its population. It's why the laws of France enforce against practice contrary to its culture. What you fail to understand, Trevor, is that by reducing people to a product of ancestry and ancestors they have never met in places they have never visited, never lived, or in cultures they have never been raised in, practice, or know, you lack the very nuance you purport to extol. Imagine living in the most interconnected world that has ever existed and reducing people to skin colour as if worldwide immigration isn't a thing. Imagine that. Imagine reducing the culture of a country or continent to a skin colour and ancestry as if the place you were raised isn't the principal factor in making you who you are. I mean, you're sounding pretty damn realist there, Trevor. Are you sure you don't want to go over to Richard Spencer's side and advocate for lots of little ethno-states? All but two of those French players are as African as they are Scandinavian, and the two that were born abroad emigrated at 2 years old. Hardly time to incorporate the entire culture of an African nation, wouldn't you say, Trevor? All were raised in France to French standards with French language and French history, French peers and French infrastructure. Every cell, for the most part, in their body was made in France or raised there. You are advocating a connection that does not exist in the way you purport. I'm not saying the connection isn't there to your ancestors. I'm saying that that hasn't made them who they are today. By all means, be interested in heritage and ancestry. It is fascinating to discover the way in which you came to be raised in the way you are, in the nation you are, how your family of generations past moved around the globe. But you, the way you were raised by the people who raised you, and the nation you were raised in, are what made you, not some accident of birth that we call skin colour and ancestry.